Howard here, founder of Power Your Research, an academic branding company where I help academics and educators increase their visibility, authority, and income without the expense of a publicist. And today we're giving you 3 tips on how to make your academic work relevant. Not just relevant to your academic community, but relevant to the world at large, to the people that you want to help, to the everyday person whose life you can change with your academic work. It's just that right now it is not accessible. So here are 3 tips. And all of these just have to do with going to places where regular people are that care about the research that you do. So the first tip is going to conferences and conventions that are not your academic conference and conventions. So our us academics, especially those on a tenure track, are used to going to our conferences to present our research. But there are actually communities and networks of conferences and conventions that are just not for PhDs, but are for everyday people that care about and do the same work you do. It's just that you do it in an academic context. So, for example, my dissertation was on comic strips and I was studying it from an academic perspective. So I started going to comic conventions where academics weren't, but artists were there, writers were there, creators were there. And so by going to those conventions day in and day out to get my academic work out there, I had to learn to speak the language of the everyday people that were engaged with my field, but not looking at my field from an academic perspective. So go to the places that regular people are that care about your area of research. The second tip I want to share with you is to actually apply for grants, community based grants, grants from industry that are relevant to your area of research. For me, I do creative writing because I write comic books and things like that. But whether you're in the DEI space, whether your PhD is in 16th century literature or whatever it is, you can apply for grants in your subject area, in your research area that are outside of just the academic space. These grants that are not for academic institutions, but are for everyday people to help change the lives of those everyday people. And these types of grants are probably going to look more like, pitching them a community based idea, showing them how your work in this field can actually affect everyday people. And then the third thing that you can do to make your work accessible and relevant to the everyday person is actually really assess the research that you do and figure out what practical skill you can create from the research that you do. Now, this might simply look like consulting. This might simply look like coaching. So for me, I am in the communication field. I have a PhD in intercultural and rhetorical communication, but I actually am a public speaking professor. And so that's an easy one to translate into a skill. Though I don't do it, I could teach CEOs how to write amazing speeches and how to print and how to present amazing speeches. I could teach people in my community at my local library how to do elevator pitches and those types of things. There's multiple ways where I could take my expertise in public speaking and go out there and help the everyday person instead of just doing research articles and publishing articles about public speaking or about race and gender in comics. So really sit back and assess, well, can you be a consultant around the things that you know how to do in terms of your research? Can you be a coach? The answer is almost always yes. If you can think about a textbook that you can write based off of your research area of interest, then you are a consultant because essentially a textbook is consulting. You're teaching somebody how to do something and you're consulting them in how to do that thing in a textbook. So, those are 3 tips I can share to make your academic work relevant. I believe that you should be taking your work and helping a critical mass of people in the best way you can with all of the hard work that you are giving to academe. And if you're new here, my name is Dr. Sheena Howard. I'm the founder of Power Your Research, an academic branding company where I help academics and educators increase their visibility, authority, and income without the expense of a publicist. I hope this helps, and you have an amazing day.